got an offer, Admin Bright, and I believe, from the looks of it, this is the last mainline SCP of theirs we get to read. There's a joke SCP that we haven't, a couple of joke SCPs we haven't read yet, but from the looks of it, this is the last one of theirs. And also, it's one of the authors we never had the chance to shout out before. All the works that we read of theirs was before we did the whole shouting out thing. The most recent one being 1777. Let's see here, 1777. Oh yeah, it was like the cave where there was like a spirit in there and was hoping that whoever was walking into the cave would be a descendant of Arthur, and like it was like, are you worthy of Excalibur? And if you weren't, then he would just, yeah, he would just be like, yeah, don't be here, bro. Send me the real one. That was the last one we have from. That was the last one we have from Admin Bright. And since this is the last one of theirs that we get to read, we should also check 1590, because that was the second last one of theirs we read. 1590, which okay, I have like here an iPhone that's cracked. I forgot. I didn't put any like description subtitles here, so I don't actually remember what this one is about. It does say here, the Book of Tamlin. I forgot what that one was about. Sorry, I'm in Bright. But now we got Hall of the Last King. All right, here we go. Object class safe. Secure containment protocols. All known extant copies of SCP-2976 have been accounted for and are held in Foundation custody at site. All copies are to be contained in standard safe class. Actually, you know what, guys? I'll be right back. I need to check on something. Okay, I'm back. And the F was with you, Calzamon. Thank you for sticking around. And sleep well. Okay, my friend told me she will be fine, because I thought she had to go to a different station. She's going to a station that's near my place, and that's a lot better. Because I don't feel good if I leave my friends. Like if they have to go to a train station, I usually escort them there, you know? Especially the ladies. I escort them as far as I can, or as far as they want me to go. And then once they say, I feel safe now, I'm good, you can go home, then that's when I go home. Because, you know, I feel, it's not like I don't think I wouldn't call it common courtesy, but I think it's just a little sign of like, that I care for their safety. Object class safe. Secure containment protocols. Unknown extant copies of SCP-2976 have been accounted for and are held in Foundation custody at site. All copies are to be contained in standard safe class containment lockers. All keys to the containment lockers are to be held by current research lead, with duplicates on file with the current head of security. SCP-2976 is not to be opened, read, listened to, or in any way have its contents perceived by any members of the Foundation above D class. Experiments carried out with SCP-2976 are to take place in soundproofed rooms. Any copies, recordings, digital scans, or other reproductions of the SCP are to be destroyed immediately after use. Any Foundation employee who has been exposed to SCP-2976 is to immediately undergo administration of Class C amnestics. I think that's... I'm pretty sure that's written wrong. It's supposed to be amnestics. But to remove the detailed memory of the words that they have been exposed to. Anyone exposed to SCP-2976... Oh, by the way, Kenzie, do you think you have a chance to voice call after the stream? Anyone exposed to SCP-2976 outside the Foundation but who has not yet been infected is to be administered a Class C amnestics and have any evidence... I guess it is amnestics. Oh well, it sounds weird. And any evidence of SCP-2976 is to be removed from their possession. The same process applies to anyone found to be in Stage 1 of infection. Anyone in Stage 2 or higher will be removed to site to be dealt with on individual basis. If infection is widespread, refer to Special Procedure B14 in the addendum. Should an instance of SCP-2976 become infected by SB3317, emergency procedure 451 mil is to be enacted. MTF Lambda Beta, the bibliophiles has set up agents to monitor estate sales, online forums, and used bookstores for any copies of SCP-2976. MTF Lambda Beta is currently headed by Special Agent Kayleen O'Reilly. Please direct any information on instance of SCP-2976 not in custody to Agent O'Reilly at SCP. Do not attempt to secure the instance of SCP-2976 unless there's a danger of losing track of the item. Investigation of SCP-2976 is undertaken by current research lead Dr. Kenyana Ulale. Any researchers seeking to test SCP-2976 are to provide Dr. Ulale with a fully detailed plan of research notarized by a minimum of 2 relevant members of senior staff. Description: SCP-2976 is a book written by science fiction writer Harold G. Talent titled In the Hall of the Last King, first published in 1932 by the now defunct science fiction publisher Bowada Books. The book describes protagonist Tom Johnson exploration of the temple to strange gods in darkest Africa. The story is rife with the sexist, racist attitudes of the time, referring to the native Africans as savages and introducing women to the story purely to the pleasure of the protagonist. The Hall of the Last King is described in great detail to the point that critics remarked it seemed to leap off the page. Reading SCP-2976, hearing it read by human or electronic means, lip reading, someone else reading it, or in any other way being made to know the exact words of SCP-2976 may result in infection. Testing on D-Class has proven that the presence of other infected of any stage beyond stage 1 may speed up the rate of infection and development of infection. Stage 2 infectees that spend substantial time together will increase the development of the infection by at least double, Stage 3 by at least triple, and Stage 4 infectees increase the development of the infection by 10 times the normal rate. Merely being around other infectees is not enough to speed up infection. Efforts must be made to discuss SCP-2976. For this reason, infected are capable of increasing the development even if the time spent together is over the phone or internet. Some of the stories do not result in infection. Infection is a multi-stage process as follows. Oh, here we go. How many stages? Well, it's a, God, Jesus, that is a, 5 stages, okay. Stage 1. During Stage 1, the infected becomes intrigued with the story, particularly with the Hall of the Last King. Infected subjects become convinced the hall is based on a real place and spend their leisure time attempting to find it, sketch it, or seek out others who may have information on it. Stage 1 infectees will often attempt to interest friends and loved ones in SCP-2976 to infect them as well. The advent of the internet has led to the infected being easy to find, as regular web searches for Hall of the Last King have turned up multiple Stage 1 infected at this point. Infection class C amnestics are enough to stop or reset the infection. Stage 2. Subjects' initial interest in SCP-2976 becomes more obvious. All free time not spent taking care of themselves or ensuring their survival in some way is spent in pursuing of the Hall. Infectees will sometimes attempt to make copies of SCP-2976 or scan it and upload it to the internet. Subjects report vivid, intense dreams of the Hall, which seems to reveal more and greater detail of the architecture. While not all infected see the same locations with in the Hall, there is enough overlap between locations observed to provide a basic layout and floor plan. The Hall as described displays repeated abnormal structuring, with the dimensions, details, and architecture being non-Euclidean in nature. Walls become floors, stairs lead to nowhere, and average humans who study the drawings can't help but feel that something is fundamentally wrong with the pictures. There appears to be no underlying theme for the building, as modern medieval, oriental, Greek, and Arabic themes mix and mingle with no regard. See Addendum C12. 12C, I mean. At this point in infection class B, amnestics are enough to stop or reset the infection. Stage 3. Within 9 months of Stage 2 infection, subjects will fall into a coma for roughly 2 days. Upon awakening, subjects claim that they were taken to the Hall of the Last King, where they were showered with earthly delights. All subjects have used that exact phrasing before going on to describe an excess of food, alcohol, drugs, and sexual activities with members of the appropriate sex. Infectees at this stage become obsessed in the pursuit, ignoring jobs and families to focus on both finding and fully describing the harm. It is at this point that many infectees seek the physical company of each other and attempt to get a complete layout of the harm. At this point in infection, Class A amnestics may stop the infection, but any exposure to SCP-2976 will result in immediate reinfection at Stage 3. Stage 4. When 6 or more Stage 3 infectees gather together, they have a 50% chance of mutating to Stage 4 each day they spend together. Once a Stage 4 subject begins attempting to build the hull in real life, it is referred to as dash beta. While this would not normally seem to be impossible, subjects are observed engaging in minor reality alteration that allow them to warp building materials to fit. Theme and space within any such created structures begin to warp, mostly to the benefit of those doing the building. There is no cure for Stage 4 infections, as amnestics have no effect. Stage 4 infectees cease eating, sleeping, and anything beyond working on building dash beta. A Stage 4 infectee must be removed a minimum of 9 meters from the dash beta in order to even be terminated. If they're not terminated, subjects will continue to attempt to build dash beta even in the absence of tools or materials. Subjects terminated less than 9 meters away from dash beta continue working despite whatever bodily trauma may be applied. Up to and including dismemberment. Subjects at Stage 4 may create Stage 2 infectees simply by talking to them. As of Incident 5.7L, it is against the Foundation policy to allow infected to progress to Stage 4 without permission from both the head of security and the site director. Stage 5, the emergence of the last king. This event has only occurred twice as far as the Foundation is aware. The first occurrence in Incident 1.11D was brought SCP-2976 to Foundation attention. The second incident, detailed in Incident 5.7L, was triggered by a previous lead researcher. A Stage 5 infection results in all humans within dash beta, infected or not, merging into a singular being referred to as dash delta. More details on this is Incident 5.7L. Harold G. Talon was a prolific but unsuccessful writer in the early part of the 20th century. Between 1921 and 1928, he self-published 31 stories, the majority of which were in the gentleman adventure genre that was popular at the time. All of his books were widely panned by critics. In 1932, he wrote and paid to have SCP-2976 published. The publisher was a small vanity press who seemed to have no idea what they were printing. SCP-2976 was seen as a major failure and caused the publisher to go under. Mr. Talon vanished after production and is presumed dead. SCP-2976 did not begin to exhibit anomalous activity until 11 years after it was published. After Incident 1.11D, MTF Lambda Beta was formed to track down and contain all extant instances of SCP-2976. To this date, there have been 7 contained Stage 4 infections, 38 Stage 3 infections, and over 100 combined Stage 1 and 2 infections. There has been only 1 Stage 5 infection outside of Foundation control. And NMC, image file corrupted. Incident 1.11D on June 11, 1964, Foundation authorities were notified of a Keter-class reality breach by agents stationed within the Chinese government. These agents reported that a branch of the government, known as at the time as the had attempted to cause what we know as a level 5 infection of SCP-2976. The exact knowledge of SCP-2976 and how they discovered its anomalous effects were destroyed in a controlled nuclear detonation they used to prevent the spread of dash beta. The remaining members of submitted to Foundation authority under Section 5111.37 of the Belgium Treaty and turned over all current instances of SCP-2976 in the possession, as well as what few notes remained. Incident 5.7L. On July 3rd, 1986, researcher Lead Kent Holman requested and was granted permission to create a controlled Stage 5 infection at site. Infection of the SCP-2976 was limited to a 14D class confined to a single hangar-style containment cell. Subjects were all required to read SCP-2976 multiple times a day. Infection progressed from Stage 1 to Stage 4 within a span of 6 weeks. While subjects were originally provided with building supplies to construct dash beta, 3 days after stage 4 infection began, subjects were observed to have access to unproved materials, including rare metals and weapons. At this point, research lead Holman attempted to shut down the experiment through the use of one-side security. Security was provided with sound bafflers to help to avoid infection. Despite this, all members of security were infected at stage 4 within 11 minutes of entering Dash Beta. 7 minutes later, all contact was lost with site. All recording and communication equipment ceased transmitted at the same time. The last transmission showed nothing unusual beyond further attempts to stop construction of Dash Beta. I like this SCP is seen as a meme. Well, it is seen as the original meaning of a meme. The original meaning of a meme means like the spreading of information, right? So we are using the word meme now as like a joke or like shit posts. But the original meaning does mean like the spreading of information and in numerous ways. So it is a meme in itself, especially because like people get infected by it, and then the knowledge of the book gets spread in a way. 31 minutes later, the site transmitted once via electronic message under the command code of Site Director James Julian. He is come crowned with fire. The hall is made perfect. Through his presence is not enough. His anger is writ upon our flesh. He will leave. He has returned. Long live the last king. All is found. We stopped him. It will not last. Attached to this message was a blurry image of a humanoid figure silhouetted by a bright light. I wrote, investigation of site revealed the site to be empty of all life, human, SCP, and test animals. The base had been stripped bare, leaving only the walls intact. There were no signs of bloodshed. The containment cell that had originally held Dash Beta appeared to have suffered heat damage. The walls blackened with non-anomalous soot. Site was decommissioned and filled with cement. Yeah, I mean, this is almost like the equivalent of like, what if somebody reads a book and creates a whole cult around it that follow the book and believe whatever the book had to say is real. Of course, this is more the anomalous version of it, because like people just get the information into the brain out of nowhere. But there's this very like cult-like behavior of just like oh, one person has read something and is so infatuated with that idea and that information that they decide to like, what if I just make a whole like society out of this? But yeah, again, like the fact that like not only do you get the information into your head anonymously, but then you also can like warp reality to build whatever hole he's talking about. No. I don't want to worship somebody or something. You end up building something for somebody else and then die, or potentially just like be mindless. You won't use the $1 billion will go into like making the hull, and then like it will be gone. I will not even be able to use it for myself. And even if the hull is done, I probably will still be like so brain fucked that like that wouldn't even know that I have money left. I would just be like, must follow book. But yeah, no, I would not.